Well, hello, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are building Azure Delta. So, last episode was all about converting this sort of post-industrial area that we're looking at now into the wonderful mixture of low and high density housing and, a bit of commercial and office that we're now seeing in front of us. And I think we do want to at least start off continuing some of this work, as I didn't quite get out absolutely everything that I wanted to do in the build last week. We just ran out of time, really. And so with that in mind, I want to make a couple of changes to the Mosman area here that are facilitated by a new mod I now have installed. So we'll go ahead and do that now. What I'm actually wanting to do is to place some new public transport in this area. And rather than using the buses and trains we've been primarily using in the rest of the city, I actually want to now use some subway. And it will follow a completely different alignment, a completely different corridor than our existing rail and bus services. So I think it should work out well, and I don't think it'll be really duplicating the sort of effort and the work, I don't think anyway. So I do want to get a bit more housing into the Mosman area, and we can do that using a new mod that I've added to the mod list. It is the Extended Road Upgrades mod, which was previously available on the Thunder store and is now moved over to Paradox mods, and thus I'm able to pick it up using Skive. So we're going to actually convert a fair chunk of this into, as we can see, some of the old quay walls. And that's going to hopefully allow us to take out our grades a little bit into sort of the hillside here to get a little bit more housing in this we're planning to be a bit of an exclusive area, so it's going to be quite profitable for us to be able to get more houses in and stuff like that. At least I think it's so anyway. So what I've done now is converted all of these roads, I think up to here, into quay walls. So that means we can take our contour pretty much all the way back. So we'll just test that out. I probably don't want to go all the way down to sort of this level. I think that's probably a bit extreme. Maybe to this major contour here, and we can see we can actually take it, well, exactly what I said, all the way back. I think we will probably aim to have a metro station here, so we probably will build a little bit of this back up. But I think it works pretty well at the contour we're looking at right now. We'll do it on both sides of Valley Street as well. And probably here we start to go a little bit higher in the contours, so we might bring the contour we're targeting down a little bit further as well. Maybe a half sort of contour height. And hopefully what we should be able to do by doing this is to get some more housing in. So I've noticed we've missed a few spots that we probably want to have quay walls down, so I will quickly switch over and do that as well. And so, yeah, we can do something like that. I think that's pretty cool. What we could actually do as well is potentially convert this to be a quay wall as well. That probably makes sense. Let's see how it looks like anyway. Yeah, I think that overall makes sense. There's a bit of weirdness caused by the fact that we don't have a quay wall on that side, as we might need to fix that up. Might make them all quay walls even. Might need to come back and fix some of that because it's a bit weird. But overall, it does free up a bit more space for us to use. As well as that, we probably want to do something a little bit different with Valley Street. Maybe we could bridge it. That might make sense. I think we need to turn that into a quay wall as well, don't we? So we turn this into an elevated road. We should then be able to, do that. Which I think it's all right. I think it makes sense. And I think we might do just a little bit of softening where we've got our transitions. So I talked about wanting to get a metro station down. We might actually do that now. We're going to need to get rid of this old parking lot. It doesn't look like it's getting a heap of use anyway, so it's probably okay. We will get a nice flat pad set up for that. I'm just going to lay down here, and we'll of course adjust it once we have it laid down. We actually don't have subways unlocked quite yet, but it's fine. We've got plenty of progression points as we can see. So we'll pop over to the public transport option and we will unlock subways. Now let's see how this will work. I think what we might actually need to do is create a new node here and convert one of these back to non-key walls. I think we actually do need to lay out our subway yard as well, which is, as you can see, it's quite a big piece of infrastructure. And we need to make sure we've got some nice dedicated space set up for it. I've been considering some of the areas where we could potentially get this subway depot in, and over here might be our best bet. Obviously, we've already got our rail yard in there. I just don't know where else it might fit in. Potentially we could maybe get it over here. But then we need to obviously get our subway cars to where they need to go. Because it's not going to go into any of these areas here, obviously. We've sort of de-industrialized these, and there's just not sort of space over here where we could get it in. Unless we were to take out this contour a little bit further and maybe put it up alongside this bit here, maybe? What are we looking like in terms of our contours? Yeah, we could maybe. Plus, we're just demolishing more of the top of this mountain, which you're probably really shaking your fist about. And I can appreciate if you're doing that because it's not ideal to be doing this. But it's just the way we've had to do it, you know? So what we might try and do is a bit of a slope. See if we can build. See if we can make this a bit better, but it's not really looking a bit better at all, is it? It's looking terrible. All right, I'm hoping. Oh no, it doesn't look good, does it? It looks okay. It looks okay. All right. So we're going to proceed with our plan either way, and we will make changes if we need to, you know, as we come to them. So we're going to get an overground subway station, I think, and we'll pop it here. Yeah, which obviously it's complaining because we can't place it roadside there. So I think if we were to get a little stub road here, we'll anarchy that. Yeah, let's just check on a pause. Because things are not going well for me so far. So we should then be able to... Can we remove that? We can. And... Hang on. And what if we remove it from this side? Or is it a bridge and that's why it's complaining? Potentially. Hang on. I don't know what it's doing. It's bridging, right? But it doesn't want to not bridge. Hang on. Hang on. Alright, what if we just redraw this portion? Okay. Cool, so they are stopping, or actually no, they're still complaining about being Oh no. Oh no. because we've lost our zoning, isn't it? Yeah, okay. What are these? Are these just light commercial? Looks like it. So if we are to rezone these, do we save them? Or what are you? Office, office, office. Okay. Okay, looks like we do partially save them, but we lose this guy here just because he's a bit too big, I guess. All right, so now should be able to place this, right? Yep, perfect. Then I think what we want to do is have a waste scoot under there. If we can, anyway. Yeah. What I'm going to try and do... I don't know if this is going to work. This is actually turning out a little bit different than I thought it was going to, if I'm completely honest. Best made plans, right? So instead, we will do that. And can we use this tool? Can we create a retaining wall? We can. All right, perfect. So what I want to do then is remove the key walls on our road, and rather than having key walls, we'll actually have the retaining wall instead. I think that still will look fine. I guess we need anarchy on. Maybe anarchy is not going to work. Let's try taking it back a little bit. Okay, perfect. All right, then we will rerun this line. Might actually change the alignment slightly, actually. So then surely we should be able to increase to the side, or like the height of our road, and that will push the retaining wall up, right? Sort of. Yeah, okay. That's not too bad. I think that looks okay. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Can we have a retaining wall and a key? I'm not sure we can. Let's give it a go. Looks like we can. There we go. I reckon that's all right. Got a bit of tearing there. Just a random ass tearing, if we're honest. We'll probably fix that though, can't we? Yep. Then I think what we want to do from there is we want to have... I'm thinking what we might do is convert a bit of Palmer Square to higher density. So we need to plan out... I think we'll slightly redo our roads a little bit to save on the number of intersections we've got here. So I'm going to realign Oak Street and Cypress Street, as well as Daffodil and Butler Street, so they sort of join up like so. We're going to lose some houses, but we'd be losing them anyway because we are obviously wanting to be, redeveloping this area. So we'll use our complex curve tool to hopefully make this work. I'm going to pull out this here and this here as well. What are you complaining about? Oh, you're housing anyway, so yeah, of course we're going to lose you. Anything that's being removed, I'm just going to remove the zoning on it because we probably don't want it to be redeveloped at this point. We sort of need to plan out what our actual, plan for the area is going to be. So anything that sort of was condemned, we're going to just make sure it stays condemned. So we're going to lose some buildings. Unfortunate, but that is the price of progress, as they say. I don't think we'll have anything on these little bits here. We might extend sort of our pedestrian paths from our cemetery. And we might get underground metro station probably on, from our point of view, the right side of screen here. So probably here or so. Once again, we will just remove the zoning that we have sort of lost, I guess you could say. And we'll be coming and filling that in with new zoning once we get that far. So the connection between these 2 points, I think, should be reasonably simple. I wonder, what is the difference in the terrain height? I'm just using this. Hang on. How do I get the terrain height? Might be able to use our water tool to sneakily do that. The elevation 115 there. 121 there, so it's not actually too bad. You might even just be able to punch these straight through, potentially, and not actually go down at all, or only slightly go down. We might get rid of some of this key, to be honest, some of this key stuff. If we just punch through here, using our continuous curve, will we go... We can pretty much tunnel without actually too much effort. Right? Yeah. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit bad. I think it's okay though. And where have we ended up? Oh, okay. We might actually need to move subway station because it's quite a tight turn there, isn't it? If we move this another sort of block, maybe. What are we overlapping with? Are we just overlapping with ourselves there, I think? All right. And from here, yeah, fairly simple connection. I think it's reasonable radius as well. I wonder if we can put sound barriers up. Probably not. No, we can't. I just wanted to check. It would be great if we had a fence asset that we can lay down. I don't think we do we? No. So definitely I'm looking forward to fences because we would get obviously some protection along this. But it's fine. It's okay. Still getting a bit of tearing here, aren't we? Actually, it's all a little bit ugly, isn't it? Alright, I'm just going to pretend we can't see that right now. That's pretty hard to ignore, isn't it? I thought we made the right choice here. I thought it looked quite cool. But it's a little bit broken. I'm going to leave it right now. Just because, honestly, I can't be bothered dealing with it. But we're going to need to come back and fix it, aren't we? Something weird is going on here, probably mostly based on the stupid stuff I've been doing with key walls. Okay, mostly fixed. Mostly. Okay, all fixed. All right, perfect. Sort of. All right, but yeah, we've got our subway station at Palmer Square. I want to have one in Parker Heights as well, and I think we can pretty much just put this anywhere, can't we? It's got such a small footprint that I would say, at least. Contours don't necessarily matter. So I think we should be right just to stick it there, and it's fine. It connects up fine. And from there, we're pretty much looking at least at the moment, until, and you know, if we have sort of further development in this area, we're pretty much going to be running a fairly express route into the city. We will have one station in Elizabeth Glen while it still exists, because could well be gone and evacuated due to the massive amounts of pollution we're now getting in there. But we can definitely at least I think anyway, should be able to fit stuff in. We'll have a stop there, probably one on Thornton Street. Thornton Street's looking a bit messed up at the moment, to be honest. Probably about halfway up. And then what I want to do is actually go to our town hall station and add a subway interface here as well. So that will be the terminus of the line. And yeah, we pretty much just need to connect all of these together, and I think it should be fairly good. We'll use our continuous curve tool for most of this work. We might need to go down a little bit because we're being complained at due to being in water. That's just a straight shot through, or hopefully it is anyway. Oh, actually, it's a little bit trickier because of this. Actually, but hopefully, yeah, it looks like it worked fine, but it is a bit of a grade. And yeah, from there, we're pretty much needing to make our way down to the underground level, sort of over here. Then we can punch through to Palmer, or Parker Heights, I should say. What do you mean overlapping items? What? Okay, that was all a bit weird. Okay, there we go. So we've got the line set up, which hopefully will be quite helpful for these new residential areas to get those all connected up to, you know, jobs in the city. Might help people to move out of the city since it is very fast suffocating in air pollution. But you never know. You never know. And of course, we need to get our depot connected in as well. And this might be a little bit tricky. No, we're not connected at all. Though probably not far away from being connected, but oh wow, you can really see how much that changes, can't you? The height there, but hopefully we can then hook into this guy here. Oh man, I actually picked a really poor place, I think, for the or the depot, but we really didn't have many other options. Not gonna lie. I mean, we probably definitely did, didn't we? We've got our 2 directions, I guess. That's fine. And yeah, I think that's all we need for the moment. And of course, we will reserve this area for any future expansions of the metro in that direction. But yeah, don't have any plans right now to do that, so should be okay. And next, we'll get our lines set up for our metros. We'll have it beginning over here at Town Hall. Complete the route. I think I missed the outbound stop in Palmer Square, didn't I? Yeah. That's fine. Perfect. Alrighty, so how is our line going to look? Subway line 1, we're going to call it the M1 line. M1 Mosman line, in fact. Oh. We might have called it the Mosma line. We didn't call it anything, in fact. Perfect. Alrighty, we've got 5 trains running on the line. That's probably okay for the moment. And yeah, I'm really excited to see these metro trains in action. I was going to say, I thought those were really massive, but there was just 2 trains that were joined together, so they're not as bad. Some interesting action we're going through here. Doing a bit of reversing and forwarding and all that sort of stuff, so that's interesting to see. But yeah, hopefully we'll see those stopping off in Mosman in not too long. But yeah, I want to now utilize some of the space we've sort of freed up by pushing our terrain down a little bit to get a little bit more housing down in this area in Mosman. I think we might even... Oh, actually... Can we do that as well? We actually can. I wonder, does that just break it even more? Probably. Actually, it might be okay. It might be okay. Let's see. It might actually fix it. Is that weird, like, artifacting we're seeing is just because the sort of ghost terrain that we've pushed back is sort of casting almost a reverse shadow. We might be okay, actually. I don't know if you'd be, like, heaps happy having your really cool upmarket home directly on a motorway, but I guess sometimes you just can't afford to question it, can you? You just gotta really get what you're given. We can see our first metro is now coming into Mosman Station. I'm wondering how many people are actually waiting there. There's none. That probably tells you what you need to know about the people that live in this area. No public transport for us, thank you very much. That's all right. It's fine. They'll come to the party eventually, I'm sure. So yeah, as you can see, we've freed up quite a bit of additional land. I reckon we can probably have some roads running sort of right on the edge of this contour and have housing backing onto the train line. I think that probably makes sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It would be, you know, you already know that these train lines are here. This shouldn't be a surprise for anyone. Hopefully anyway, but you never know, I suppose. And I think we'll need to make a few connections with the existing road network as well. I think we've got a few places where that stuff makes sense. I feel like that shouldn't have demolished that house, but I guess we're just going to have to deal with it, aren't we? Oh, come on. Worst. Absolute worst. Yeah, that's alright though. Yeah, we've got a few sort of roads to connect up. I think we might go fairly narrow zoning here because we don't want to be encroaching on the rail line or don't want to be getting too close to it anyway. Might actually even maybe get a mixture of our low density waterfront housing and a bit of row housing. Potentially row housing in our more narrow spots over here. And then back to the low density once we get out to sort of this bit here. I think that probably is going to be quite good if we can do that. And yeah, once again, is it ideal that you are directly backing onto a rail line and also a motorway? No. Is this still good housing? Probably. Are you in a good school district? Yes. So yeah, it is what it is. Can't really complain, I guess, with what you're given, can you? I mean, especially if you're living in an area like this, like the outlook you have into the harbour from here, absolutely amazing. Look at that. It's beautiful. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we need to fix that up. I was just thinking about how we could sort of fill this area in. We definitely need to get rid of that. But we probably could actually add this back in. I reckon anyway. And if we just add this random ass road in here. Does that make sense? Does that work? Sort of. Might be better if we can try and get this tunnel in a little bit sooner. So if we're tunneling there, I think that makes things a lot easier. And sort of a lot of this yuckiness can just be done away with, can't it? So we'll get a key wall in here as well. Then what we might do is sort of try and lower all of this to the height of like so. Might need an additional little length of key here as well. Yep, I think that is what we need. You get a bit of weird stuff if you look at it from this way. We're just going to pretend that we're not looking at it from that way. In fact, it looks like if we can get rid of, so there's like no shadow on this side of the key wall, it looks like it actually gets rid of a lot of the weirdness. It's not perfect, but it looks a little bit better. And what we can do, we can smooth off a lot of this stuff. We're like smoothing hard, aren't we? And I think we can probably just add a bit of greenery in here. Obviously, it's not going to solve all life's problems because you've still got a motorway and a rail line next to each other. But if we can sort of break up at least some of the noise. Hopefully our residents will be at least a little bit appreciative of us. You never know. We might get some sort of smaller trees and bushes on this bit here. Maybe some spruce, because spruce are a little bit narrower, aren't they? So they might be able to fit a little bit better into the space we've got available. Yeah, so I'm hoping that the new sort of design here in Mosman is still popular with residents. Hopefully, and hopefully the sort of green type stuff we've added in here at least somewhat buffers and somewhat combats both the sound and the ugliness of having the metro right behind your house. Now, Palmer Square. So I mentioned that we were going to look at upgrading this. And we are going to do that now. I think we might try and get Pleasant Street to be a little bit of a larger road. So it means we're going to have to move our subway station, I think. But it should be okay. We might actually use Anarchy when we get to this bit, just so we don't completely break everything anyway. So we will sneakily move that. It's going to overlap with the track though, isn't it? Oh, hang on. All right, I'm going to pause because I'm not doing well. Okay. Does that connect up? It might, actually. Where's our underground view? Yes, but the stops have reversed. Interesting. So that means that we should just be able to fix up the stops. And that's all we should need to do. There we go. All right, and now we're going to dezone all of these areas that we have condemned houses in because we don't want stuff rebuilding there. And I want to sort of have a think about how we want to utilize this area. So I mentioned we're not going to use this bit here. We're going to try and get some sort of new paths set up and a bit more greenery in here. And directly on Pleasant Street, I think we will move up to probably a bit of medium density and in some of the surrounding blocks, but not, we're not going to go like high density or anything like that in this area. Alrighty, so all of these buildings should now be pulled out. I'll just help them on their way by deleting them. I believe this public school is struggling, and it is. As you can see, we're at our limit already. We can get an extension wing, and it does sit within the footprint of the school, so we can get that in, and it is fine. You can potentially also get in a children's clinic as well. That is probably going to be helpful for this community that we're sort of now starting to build up, so we'll get that in as well. And yeah, all of this, we're going to go with medium density medium density residential. I think we'll probably go like 5 deep. I think this should all be 5 deep on this side, actually. Lovely. And yeah, let's fix up our cemetery. Just wanting to build a bridge. Whatever reason. Interesting, overlapping items. They don't look all that overlapping to me. I think that's a decent connection, if I'm honest. We'll punch through here as well, which is going to, of course, lose us this house. And we'll just do the same sort of design as we did on that side. Okay. I think we might get a few trees in these little sort of blocks that we now have free. I think we might take another, or these sort of entire blocks, and do something different with those as well. I do want to follow the sort of theme we set up here and have pedestrian paths through the middle of these lots as well. Beautiful. Got pedestrian crossings. We'll probably remove this one here. I don't think we need it. Maybe we can't do that. Maybe we need to remove these first. No, it's misbehaving a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. It's doesn't seem to want to behave. Okay, well, we'll leave it there for the moment then. That is okay. I think I also do want to expand this section of Pleasant Street to be 4-lane as well, just because it's going to make a nicer sort of transition zone to have it there. We might also take this off so we can try and make that like so. I think that's okay. Alrighty, and now I want to take the opportunity to start to work in a little bit of, I think, commercial and office in this zone. We're going to be sticking with low density because we don't have a medium, so it's going to look a little bit silly if we've got these medium-sized houses with, you know, massive, you know, those size blocks. So I'm going to start to just work in a few of these every now and then. Sort of a bit every which way. We're not really caring too much about the orientation. And then, yeah, we're going to fill in the remainder with our medium density housing. Now, I think as we've done quite a major sort of rejuvenation of these 3 areas we've got on camera now, it's time to take stock of sort of how they're doing for their city services. I think some of our bus lines still need to be fixed up a little bit as well. So we're going to go in and sort of do those one by one. So first of all, in terms of our education, we can see, well, a couple of things. Our university and college education levels citywide are looking terrible. Elementary school as well, we have very low capacity for the number of students we have. It looks like in this area things are looking pretty decent. I'm just going to have a look around the rest of the city. So it does look as though our elementary school in our CBD is not looking great. And potentially over in this area as well, it looks like some of these sort of houses are not looking that good either. So I think what we might do, we might set up some operating districts for this school. We'll go sort of these 3 areas here. What about over here? Do we have an elementary school? Okay, we do have an elementary school over there, so we'll set some operating districts for that one as well. I notice we've got a few areas that are sort of missed out on having a district, so we might get those fixed up while we're here as well. We've got this little area here as well that, oh my god. So this school has already completely filled up just from these 3 operating zones. So I think we will need an additional primary school down in this area then. Maybe one in this sort of Sunrise Springs area. We could even cut this district in half maybe. Or we could just put one in here and have it also serve Bedford Terrace and have Palmer Square Elementary School just for these 2 areas here. I think we might do that. Where is some good land that we could potentially get an elementary school on? I think actually just in Bedford Terrace itself, I think we've got room. You get that in there, and it still looks pretty decent. And yeah, we'll set our operating districts for this one for Sunrise Springs, Bedford Terrace. And we might get either extend or just put a new district in here to cover these homes here. And then Kookaburra Hills, we will remove Sunrise Springs from its operating district, and we'll also remove Bedford Terrace from this one here. We'll see how that that impacts our student numbers at those schools. Acacia Hill. Man, that's still full. Do we really have all that many children in these 2 suburbs? Bedford Terrace is looking pretty empty at the moment. I guess maybe the kids just haven't moved across to the new schools yet. Maybe. So we'll add Acacia District to the Bedford Terrace Elementary School catchment area. Yeah, hopefully we'll start to see kids shifting over, potentially. In terms of fire coverage, we're looking pretty decent. We do have a firehouse just snuck in over here. We could get an additional garage in there if we need it, but it looks like it's all right at the moment. Police station coverage is okay. It's like, it actually looks like we do have a police station over here actually. We could potentially get a new garage built at that one to better cover the Mulberry Keys area, but other than that, we're okay. Hospital, still looking pretty decent. Obviously, we've, I think, over-provisioned our healthcare a little bit, but it's okay. It's working fine. We could potentially get a clinic in this area here that might help to hopefully offset some of the damage done by the pollution. We could maybe just sneak one in on this block here. And our bus routes is what we do need to look at. So if we pop over here, we should see, I mean, things aren't looking terrible. It looks as though we do have some opportunity to get some better bus routes in though. We definitely want to, I think, get some bus stops in to help with our new stations that we've laid down. It looks like we've got one over there, so that is good. We've got a bus station here as well, so that's also looking after that pretty well. I noticed we don't have any public transport really for Beechwood Crest or Mulberry Keys or Mosman as well, but Mosman's a fairly short sort of suburb. But we can definitely, I think, increase some of the public transport options we've got in these sort of new areas that we've built. So what's our red line? It's a weird place for it to terminate. I guess that probably was the old, potentially the old bus depot, maybe? Possibly. Let's get this red line and see if we can fix it up. Of course, I didn't name any of these lines properly, did I? I've just called them number. I think that's the one we're looking at here, is it? Or is it not? Yeah, okay. So that's what, heading from... Okay, from the college. So we can possibly have that run to Palmer Square via Parker Heights, I'd suggest. Might even actually move it off this main road entirely and have it run through Bedford Terrace as well. There we go. I think that's pretty good. We're actually going to give this a name as well, rather than just giving them numbers, because that's probably a bit silly, isn't it? This is 200. We're going to go Palmer Square to College. Now, what else do we have running in this area? We're not going to worry about that one. That one's fine. This guy here, this blue route, what is happening with that one? So that is running... Where's that running to? Okay, it's running to... Okay, to the cargo harbour. Interesting. Interesting choice. And where's that coming from? Okay, so this is bus line 4 we're looking at here. And I'm okay with it. It's going sort of a little bit of a circular route, but I think we can manage with that. I just need to get another bus stop in sort of here or so. And where does it run? Runs through our new sort of commercial district. We can get another couple of bus stops there as well. Why are you needing to do that? Oh, okay. Got some weird waypoints. Okay, fixed. Next, let's look at the 100 and 120. So, bus line 6. Why have you appeared again? This yellow one is running up to our employment district here, which is cool. That's fine. We can leave that there, but I want to pull you out of the main road once again, and you can run through Bedford Terrace. Okay, you're then doing a bit of a weird and wonderful sort of bus route. What the hell? This is all very strange. I guess we wanted it to run a little bit through the burbs. Actually, it's not as bad as it looks. It is a little bit weird though. Might insert a waypoint just to keep it... A couple of waypoints just to keep it sort of following a more uniform or more symmetrical route. I think that's good though. That's all fine and dandy. And we've got this route left, this 100 route. I'm just trying to work out where that runs from or to. So that runs, what, all the way to... that also runs to the college. Okay. And where does this one run from? Is this a duplicate route? Hang on. It is pretty much a duplicate route, but it does have a slightly different way of getting around. So I think it's probably worth keeping in that, I guess, from that point of view. We can run it through the lower part of Bedford Terrace. All right, I think that all makes sense now as well. Well, that is going to be about all we've got time for in this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun getting a new mode of transport into the city in our subway. It was also good to slowly start to increase the density in Palmer Square as well, so we can sort of unlock the capacity we've got there. And yeah, take advantage of the nice new subway route we've built through it as well. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. If you want to help out at home, you can do so by popping on to patreon.com/BobDendry, by joining as a member of the YouTube channel, or you can also just leave a super thanks on this video if you want to give a one-off thanks for the content. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.